What's going on, everybody? This is Kevin Harvey from Seymour Duncan, coming to you live once again with another Instagram Live Q&A here from my home in Santa Barbara, California. And today I am super psyched because we are going to be joined by the one and only Yiannis Papadopoulos. He's the lead guitarist for Scott Stapp, and he's also an amazingly technical player. He's a guitar educator who has multiple courses out with JTC Guitar. He's a composer, songwriter, performer in his own right. So I just really appreciate Yiannis taking the time to join us all the way from the other side of the world here in Greece. So we're in for a real treat, guys. So Yiannis, thank you so much for joining us, brother. I really appreciate the time. And without further ado, let's see if we can't get Yiannis on the horn here. Waiting for Yiannis Papadopoulos. Pray to the Wi-Fi gods. Yiannis!
Hello.
How you doing, man? It's so good to see you.
Finally, man. We've been chatting online for so long. It's like I know you. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, man.
I know. And man, I love the sweatshirt. Repping it properly here for the Q&A.
Of course, man. I'm all about that, man.
Yeah, man. Yiannis, it's so good to finally chat face to face, man. You and I have been exchanging emails and FaceTime calls and everything for a long time. So it's great to finally connect, man.
I know, brother. I know.
Yeah, and thank you so much for joining us today. I know, what time is it over in Greece right now?
It's 8 p.m. So near bedtime for those that have children.
Yeah,
you know
I
mean?
I was about to say, I know you have a little one, so are they all tucked in?
Yeah, we're there. Thank God my wife can take care of the baby and we can chat. I can chat with you, baby. So
yeah.
That's what.
I love it, man. I love it. Well, thank you so much for joining us, brother. It's so good to be able to hang, and it's such a pleasure, man. It's such a pleasure. So, man, this has been a really unusual year, and so, I always kind of ask, for all the artists that we've been doing in the, chatting with in these Q&As is, what have you been up to, man, during this sort of weird time? Because, normally you're out performing all over the world with Scott, and since live shows are sort of temporarily on hold, what do you have going on?
I mean, when COVID started, it was a problematic scenario for the whole globe. It's not like somebody expected something like that would happen, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the main thing was, when I wasn't on tour, I have been always teaching. So I had already, let's say, quite a few students online waiting for me when I wasn't touring. So I just kept what I had and tried to bring it to the next level. So for example, I invested in buying some new equipment to level up my online lessons, new cameras, new lights. It took quite some time actually to make sure that I have the latest technology regarding, for example, how to teach with multiple cameras, so that, even for the people that are in the other side of the world, I can zoom in and literally they could see my hand, how it's moving, all the details. Because, like it or not, it's a totally different thing if you're showing something to somebody from a distance, and another thing to be on the private lesson, let's say. But since private is not allowed even for people that live in Greece, I try to have it as easy as possible for the people that want to have lessons with me to follow what I'm doing and how I'm doing it. So I have 5 cameras at the same time with different angles at my hands, and I can zoom in and out. So the student gets the most out of what I have to give, and people are excited, So this took quite a while to put everything together.
I can imagine, man. That's quite a setup.
Dude, seriously, with all the troubleshooting that has been going on, the testing of the different cameras and the latencies and all that stuff, everything was ready and up running around May, the beginning of May. So from February till May, it was that was happening in the background.
Yeah.
So after that was set up, it just kept going. But the good, it wasn't exactly a good thing that COVID brought.
Yeah.
But we had the opportunity to work with a project that I have. That's something new. It's called Royal Time Machine.
Your new project. I'm excited to hear about this, man. Yeah, tell us a little more.
So when we weren't on tour, we hang out with a couple of friends here from Greece. It's George Kolias, the drummer from Nile. Extremely technical drummer and a great mind, you know. And another bass player from Greece called Michael Evdemen. Phenomenal, man, phenomenal. More into the jazz fusion scenario. So we have George, who is mainly a rock metal labeled player. Me, who is more, let's say rock fusion oriented, and Mike, who is more fusion jazz. So it's a strange mixture of things, you know, put together.
That's a great melting pot, though, man. I can imagine it. So what are you guys working on, right? And that project came together as a result of kind of what's going on right now with the pandemic?
More or less. I mean, this thing started going on the year before because we had some time when we were not on tour, we were on a break. So we had already a basic layout of, let's say, 9 songs. But when the lockdown started, and since all touring was canceled for everybody, we took the time to start recording and working on the songs. So we finished the demo versions, and now this week, maybe even tomorrow, I think I'm going to be done with all the recordings of the guitars, and we are beginning the production phase. Dude, I'm so excited about what's gonna come out of this, you know.
Yeah, man, that's great. So what was the process for? You mentioned that you guys had been working on some demos for a while.
Yeah.
So what was the process for tracking the record and recording? And you mentioned that now you guys are kind of in the post-production or getting close to the post-production phase. So walk us through that a little bit. What was that like?
I mean, after we were done with composing the songs and setting up the let's say the basic structure of the songs and the solo parts for everybody, we were like, okay, how are we going to, let's say, move to the recording phase? And this is actually where this baby is going to come handy.
Woo! Awesome, yes.
Dude, when I received it, I'm like, yes, the timing couldn't be better, you know, because I'm using a DI to track all the guitars. And now we are going to, and I'm using I'm a fractal guy, so I was using the AX8 to track all the guitars, but we are definitely going to do the reamping and also add some real amp signals in there.
Yeah.
So this is going to be handy because I'm going also to mic a cab using this.
Awesome, I love it.
Yeah, so it's gonna be fantastic. Actually, I have tried the 170, the previous model. It was very good, dude. I was very happy that I see that you added the presence control. In my opinion, it was missing from the previous model.
Yeah,
the stereo in the back, and the fact that it's already for the US and the European voltage.
Touring.
Dude, this is amazing. Seriously, unbelievable. And dude,
I love it,
Yiannis.
I'm so glad you love it, man. Yeah, for those who might not be familiar, that's our Power Stage 200 pedal board mountable amplifier. And yeah, Yiannis, it's funny that you mentioned that. After the 170, you know, that amp was extremely popular and did really well, and we're so happy how well received it was. But one piece of feedback that funny enough, mostly like the pedal guys kind of gave us was the desire for a little more presence and a little more top end. So with the 200, we added that presence control to give you a little more brightness. And that's funny that you mentioned that as well. So
dude,
I'm
seriously.
so glad you're digging it.
Yeah, trust me, dude. I mean, hopefully next week we are going to start the reamping phase. I'm expecting on a couple of pedals, but I'm going to post videos of the process. I want people to see, you know, this baby in action, because I'm very, very impressed with the quality that this offers, and the fact that, dude, it's like the size of my hand. It's nothing. You just put it on a backpack and you can go gig anywhere in the world, you know, with any kind of I don't know, pedal board or any kind of simulation, let's say, either fractal or anything like that. So
Yeah.
very, very good job. Very good job,
man. Thank you. I'm so glad you're loving it, Yiannis, and the fact that you're going to be using it in the studio. That's so cool, man. Such great feedback. I'm so glad you're loving it.
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So all the drums and bass are tracked though, yes? So
yes.
It's just down to guitar. How did you do that in a local studio, home studio? What was the process for recording?
Actually, even if COVID was not on our heads, we would be tracking like we did. So everybody in his home studio. So
awesome.
Everybody has his own space. This gave us the time to experiment even more, to change parts, to go back and hear and take our time and see all the how the different pieces fit together inside the songs, experiment with the harmony and the melodies, etc., etc. So this, if we were in the studio, that would have been a very big budget, which obviously now that we're not touring, it's not like we have, you know, the bucks floating in our pockets. So it's a good thing that we can have a professional, let's say, quality from the courtesy on our home, you know, just relaxing and
absolutely. And it allows you to be creative, and you're not stressed for time. And and man, these days, you know, and obviously the three of you are professionals, so you know, that in combination with the quality of gear nowadays, you can make an amazing record. You know, in a good home studio. So man,
I mean, that's the good thing about, you know, it was funny. I was reading an article the past days, how, you know, the difference, everything is going up in a certain, let's say, curve, but technology, the curve of the technology's achievement is like this, you know. It's multiple the times of everything else. So I mean, even the plugins, even if you don't have even if you say you live in a building in a block of flats and you can't turn on your amp to crank it and have a great tone, you can have a Kemper, a Fractal, or anything you want, and just have a great quality and just do the job. And
and it's amazing, man. I feel like, you know, even just in the last 5 years, that's just gotten so much better. It's amazing. And like you said, you can live in a flat, an apartment, a small building, close neighbors, and now you can make, you know, amazing quality recordings from home. So man, I can't wait to hear this record, man. So so obviously you're still in the recording phase, but when are you guys expecting to release it, and where should people follow you to make sure to stay up to date on all that stuff?
I mean, the original plan was for the album to be out the first quarter of the 2021, but we are running a bit late on that deadline. It's not a deadline, but the original plan, let's say. But I believe that somewhere in near the middle of 2021, if not in the first quarter, we are going to have it out. We have a few proposals from record labels already, but we haven't decided if we're going to go in that direction or how we're going to do it. But I mean, since the recordings are done, I don't think that the production phase is going to take so much longer. And I mean, we are already discussing a marketing strategy for the record to be promoted as it should be in the social media with, you know, all the kind of interviews and videos that are going to be out promoting the material and the stuff. So we have all the respective social media channels. So once again, the project is called Royal Time Machine, and people can find us on Instagram, on Facebook, and on YouTube.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait. I'm definitely going to have my eyes peeled for that. I have no doubt it's going to be amazing, man. So
thank you,
awesome, Yiannis. Awesome.
Thank you.
So Yiannis, if you don't mind, man, give us a little bit of a background on how guitar came into your life and music, and give us the Yiannis Papadopoulos story, man. How did that all happen?
Actually, I come from a musician family, more or less. So my father is a guitar player. My uncle is a guitar player. I'm a guitar player. My first cousin is a guitar player.
Yeah.
So my sister played the piano. My wife played the piano. Her grandparents were soloist duo with piano and violin.
Players?
No, bouzouki.
No bouzouki.
I try to play as fast as the bouzouki players do. So
yeah.
we're trying to cover that, But generally speaking, music has been in my life since the early days, let's say. But my family was more oriented in the Greek style of music, which I can't say I'm into that exactly. So I was more directly focused on the rock metal category. So I mean, any kind of Guns N' Roses or Metallica, Running Wild, all the power metal scene from Europe in the early days. That was such a joy. And I remember listening to Stratovarius, Timo Tolkki playing all these fast solos, and then I was checking. I think one of the first CDs I bought was Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
Fight Fire with Fire starting. I'm like, what the is this, man? This is what I want to do,
Yeah. So life-changing moment right there.
No, dude, seriously. And the funny thing is that I was originally, although I liked that kind of music, I wanted to play the piano. And obviously my father was not intending to buy me a piano in a flat that we were living back then. So he's like, yeah, buddy, why don't you start the guitar? And if you don't like it, I promise to get you the piano. He knew something better, I was soon as I played. I'm like, all right, I know what I want to do.
I like it.
Yeah, all right, forget the piano. So more or less, he was starting to give me some kind of lessons at the early age of 4. Hey, buddy, this is the guitar. These are the notes. These are some chords. Obviously, you can't learn anything at that age. You were more into playing football or soccer or anything you want to call it. So a few years later, I enrolled in a conservatory. I don't remember the exact age actually, but it was pretty early when I started the, let's say, official kind of training with classical guitar lessons and all that classical theory, harmony, counterpoint, all that stuff. And I graduated. I have my degree in classical guitar and theory and harmony with honors and blah blah blah. But the funny thing is that I don't know how is it in the States, but at least in Greece there is a kind of philosophy like, music is good, but it's not going to give you sustainable income. So you like it, but keep it as a hobby. You're good, but don't worry about it, man. Keep it to yourself and go to the university to study something that is gonna be a life-sustaining job,
It's a very similar sort of rhetoric out here.
So I'm like, they might be right. So I'm like, I was practicing 8 to 10 hours a day for guitar, and at the same time I was trying to give exams for the university. So actually I went into the university and I have 2 degrees, one in financial economics and another one in accounting and finance. No, I'm not joking. Business. Accounting and business. So this, alongside with all the practicing for the guitar, no sleep. I don't know if you see the black.
I was about to say a lot of coffee. A lot of coffee.
Dude, seriously. So I graduated university and I was trying to do everything at once. I was playing, I was joining bands, cover bands. I was trying to practice as much as I can for my own, sake, and trying to be better and better and better. And at some point I just couldn't handle the lack of sleep. And I'm like, I was working as an accountant in the day and I was practicing and playing gigs at night. And I'm like, I will die. I have to sleep at some point. So Yeah, I quit the morning job and I'm like, okay, I'm doing this. And after that, you know, everything was on the right track. And this was more or less the time when I started joining these competitions online just to, you know, see what I can do. And thank God that went pretty well. I won a couple of, let's say, competitions with quite a few people, quite a few participants. And that gave some attention to my playing and how I do stuff, and opened a few doors. For example, like the Jamtrackcentral, which is called now GDC Guitar. It was around that period of time when all these things happened. So, and that was, you know, it's like these moments in time when you're like, you have to take a risk. Nothing comes if you're not risking something. You know, you can't have it all. You can't have your safety and things coming at you if you don't practice, if you don't, you know, do something with your own hands, you know, take action. And I keep telling this to everybody, and they're like, man, everybody's expecting anything to come, you know, hey man, I don't want to practice, but I want to learn how to play. You can't do that, man. There's no magic filter. You know?
They have to go hand in hand. If you want to learn how to play, you have to practice.
Exactly.
Yiannis, so you brought up a really, there's a couple really things that I want to ask. But first off, you know, you mentioned a second ago, kind of, you have to take a risk. So for younger players who, you know, want to pursue guitar professionally, what's your like one or two, you know, best pieces of advice to give those guys and gals out there?
Yeah, that's a good one. So the main thing after health, one of the most precious things is time. So seriously, if you don't know how to manage your time, you're doomed, in my opinion, because the moment is now and it passes. Tomorrow is another moment, another day. So you need to take advantage of every day, every moment. And, you know, I wish that somebody, it's not like I wasn't working hard. I was a hard worker from the beginning. But I wish somebody would tell me, man, forget university, you know, you don't have to do that, you know, trust yourself, trust your instinct. So this is one of the things that I would definitely say: work hard, keep working, work again, try to get some sleep, wake up, work again.
Keep work,
Seriously, because even if there is, let me say something, even if there is a lack of talent, not everybody is equally talented. You know, some people are born and they can play fast. Some people are born and they have a perfect pitch. Some people are born and they can run fast. I mean, some people are born and they're pretty. What can you do? You know, some people have something. Some people are born and they're great. They have great social skills. Everybody has a unique characteristic. So bet on yourself. Keep working to improve stuff. I'm not into the guy that says, you know, you have one good thing, focus on that thing, forget everything else that you are struggling with. So, for example, if I was to, I was a very bad picker originally. I couldn't play fast. I couldn't play fast, man. I was very good with my left hand.
I almost can't believe you now, just because.
Dude, I was so bad. Seriously, I was bad, bad. But so I had to struggle a lot to fix that. So if I was following any kind of advice, focus on what you're best, I would be doomed right now. I'm here to prove the exact opposite. If you want to do something, focus your energy. It's gonna be a painful couple of years, but you can do it. Everybody can do it in a longer or shorter period of time, but everybody can do what they want if they focus. So focus, work hard, have a very good strategy about your life. This is another great point. You know, if you don't want to have a family, you don't need to stress to have a family because everybody else has a family. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't want to have kids, don't have kids. No, it shouldn't stress you, you know. Live your life. If you want to have kids, make sure that you have sustainable income before that part comes in.
Yeah.
Because
so have a good plan.
Exactly. Planning is the key, because if you're planning to have, let's say, 20 guitars, but before the 5th guitar you have a kid, Well, quite a few of these guitars are not gonna appear at
The
your
other
doorstep.
15 might be tough.
Exactly. So planning is a good scenario there. That's a great tip, I think.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Yiannis. The other question I had, man, is first off, you mentioned, oh, I'm a hard worker, and just based on your story alone, all the 2 degrees from the university, playing gigs at night, pursuing guitar, practicing, man, I can only imagine how little amount of sleep you were getting.
Oh, dude, and on top of that, try to have a personal life too. I mean, try to be social and have friends, and try to find a girlfriend or a wife. It's a even less sleep. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Crazy, man. I can only imagine. But having a degree in business and kind of also understanding that, has that helped with your career as a guitarist and as a professional musician? Did you learn any business skills that you thought that were really, really helpful to you, that you might be able to share with other folks?
I mean, it's not exactly the, I mean, we have totally learned some stuff like, for example, in business management, they are giving you, for example, how to lay out a business plan for your company, or how in accounting, we've learned the cost management and all that stuff. I mean, I was taught very, 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 very good things in the university. So don't get me misunderstood. It was a great thing. It's a personal decision that I didn't want to practice that degree and follow that career. But going to the university definitely opens very big doors, okay? But on the other hand, for example, in my case, trying to, finish the university and have a good degree in the end, it meant that I had to also study a lot of hours for that. So that being said, less hours on the guitar. So if you're dividing the time and your energy in 2 things, you're not good in any of them, not as much as you would like to, or as much as you would want to. So back to your question, one of the things that it definitely gave me as a positive, let's say, result is the mentality on how to, let's say, think, how to organize stuff, how to make plans for the future, and be more, let's say, how to take risks or calculate the risk management, let's say, this kind of things. Definitely, I mean, being social, it can be a very big plus in the entertaining business. So I mean, if you're not very social, if you're a shy guy, it can cause quite a few barriers to come your way. Also, if you don't believe in yourself, this is something that can also hold you back. And if you don't trust yourself to reach out to people and be like, hey, man, I want to work with you, or can I have an endorsement, for example, or anything like that? You need to do it on your own. There are situations where companies are going to find you, but if you don't reach out, I mean, who is going to know you, You need to be out and promote yourself.
And like you're saying, networking is a mental game, and it can be a mental struggle with yourself. Like you were saying, you gotta believe in yourself. You have to maybe push yourself out of your comfort zone. And like you were saying, if you're a shy person, and
dude, I mean, everybody has things that can be, let's say, problematic to move forward. Not everybody has certain gifts, and the opposite. So what you said is a very important point. The comfort zone. If you don't step out of that, nothing big is going to come by sitting in your room and practicing alternate picking. In my case, for example, at 500 BPM, let's say. Nobody cares about that, man. Nobody cares. I mean, maybe somebody else that wants to do it may be like, hey, man, how Yiannis is doing it. Let me see a couple of his videos. But period. That's it. Maybe that's my comfort zone, and I have to be more social, and But I mean, comfort zone and stepping out of it is one of the most important things. Everybody, if you ask anybody, they have certain things that they feel less comfortable doing them. Do it. Force yourself and go do it, man. What's the worst thing that can happen? You're going to fail 15 times, 16 times, man. The 17th time, it's going to be less of a failure. The 18th, the 19th, the 20th, you're going to
Just get
get
a little better.
You're
Yep.
going to get it, man. That's the mentality. If you don't push it, it will never come. At least
Yeah.
not, this is what life has taught me so far. Nothing is given for free ever, in my case at least. Yeah, you
I
need to
love
work
that,
for
man.
it.
And that's one thing that I think, you know, is sometimes forgotten is, man, you can be an amazing player, the most phenomenal player, but being a professional career musician involves so many different facets. And like you said, it's about socializing and being able to promote yourself appropriately and being able to network. And those are things that require practice also. It's not just woodshedding. It's, you know, and that's part of it, practicing, being diligent, but it's practicing all these different things that will lead to your career. And so I just think that's amazing advice, man. And it's important for everyone to think about.
Yeah, dude, but for example, if let's say that you have somebody that plays very well, if you don't promote yourself, you're doomed. If you hire somebody to promote you, then it's gonna be something like, okay, it's gonna be a blessing. But if you don't have the ability to talk with other people, to communicate when you are with other people, you're doomed again. Everything that you have built is gonna be ruined. And something else, dude. I think one of the most important things that you mentioned about tips before, this is one tip. Be humble, man. Be humble. This is a very big tip. No matter what have you achieved in life, no matter how big is your bank account or how big is your Instagram account or how big you are, dude, be humble. Everybody has started maybe from ground zero or minus for some people, you know, and they're working their way up. Just respect everybody who is just genuine enough and he wants to make it. Give advice. Be near other people. I mean, I understand the lack of time. For example, I wish I could reply to all the DMs that I get, but I have no time, man, to do that, you know?
Yeah.
But be humble. It's a very important thing, you know?
Yeah. That, you know, and that's one thing I have to say. I've learned a lot of that from actually Seymour himself personally. He is one of the most humble, genuine, you know, Yiannis, I don't know if you've ever met Seymour at NAMM or anything, but
not yet.
Man,
not
we
yet,
have to make it happen. But he's just, no matter who you are, no matter how many years you've been playing guitar, like you were saying, no matter how many Instagram, he'll take the time to talk to you, learn about you. And like you're saying, you know, even if you can't answer every Instagram DM or every email or, you know, all the ones you can, I just totally agree. It's like, be humble, you know, everybody has something to offer, and who knows how you're going to impact another player, you know, another future player. I love that, man.
I agree.
Yeah. So Yiannis, one thing that, you know, I know you mentioned this in passing a little while ago is, you know, your work with Jamtrackcentral, now they're JTC Guitar. And, you know, you also have a few guitar instructional books out. So you're a pretty, an advocate for guitar education and a brilliant educator, man. And like you were saying, you know, 5-camera setup, you understand how to teach. So what got you into guitar education? What inspired you to kind of share your craft with other players?
Yeah, so I mean, for some people, it's a way to make an income, which is understandable. In my case, I mean, I always like to explain things to others. My mother actually was a teacher, so she was always very patient with me, trying to explain me how to do things when I was young. And that had a big impact in how I think and how I explain things. And this was thing number one. And thing number two, dude, I practiced so many hours trying to troubleshoot why I cannot pick, why this thing sounds bad, why my hand placement is not correct, how should I fix it, you know? And trying to, I mean, back then, the internet wasn't as huge as is it now, when you can just go online and be like, hey, man, alternate picking tips. You can find a bunch of videos. Great.
Yeah.
Dude, back then there was the videotapes, and I remember I had the Rock Bible, Rock Discipline from John Petrucci, and I was hitting, go, stop, again, before,
rewind, play, rewind.
Exactly. And I was trying to focus on the different angles that he was holding the guitar, how he was moving the pick, what he was doing. So I had to recalibrate my hand so many times, and I'm like, okay, you have spent so many hours trying to refine, let's say, your technique. I was under the impression that quite a few people were struggling, you know what I mean? And when I was, actually, when I turned 18, when I was legally allowed to work, you know, I was immediately hired in the school that I was there as a student, let's say. So I was a teacher in the age of 18. So immediately I saw that what took me a while to figure out, other people were struggling too. And I'm like, okay, instead of just giving notes to people, and, you know, why not put it in a book or in other instructional material and have it more available, let's say, internationally? Why not? And this is where I started coming up with the ideas from the book. And I had all the original notes from when I was doing my heavy practice routine. So I knew what helped me and what didn't help me, and all these questions that I had as a beginner, let's say. So I tried to put everything in one book, and this led to the book, the first book, The Electric Guitar Technique Workout. As you might have guessed, it's all about technique. And it has alternate picking, legato, and sweep picking, licks, all these notes about how to hold the pick, how to practice tips, a few skill shapes that you can apply, what you've learned in the book, and licks that use all these techniques together. And you know, this was thing number one. And when that was solved, I'm like, I think this is a moment of realization for everybody, when you're spending all these countless hours trying to play fast. You're at the point that you can play any Petrucci solo, let's say, any Malmsteen solo, and then somebody tells you, hey man, let's jam. I have this backing track, and you're just running up and down scales.
And
I'm like,
it's lost some of the musicality.
I'm like, what is this, bro? What are you doing? This is not how it's supposed to sound like, you know? So in this case, I think the you are what you eat scenario comes in place. So if you're eating technique, you're playing like a machine, you know? If you don't practice your playing skills, your improvisation skills, your chords, your theory and see it in application, you're done. You are just going to go running scales up and down, which is the worst thing in the world, you know? It's better if you just go and have a Starbucks coffee, I don't know, something else.
Otherwise you sound like a robot.
Yeah, exactly. So this is where the, let's say, the more serious quest for improving the improvisation skills and all the knowledge, the theoretical knowledge, how it can be applied in action. So this more or less started a new, let's say, focus in the practice routine that I had. So it shifted from being oriented to technique to more oriented towards, let's say, improvisation and skills and stuff. And all that led to, again, why not share this knowledge with the rest of the world, or anybody who might be facing similar issues or is under the same quest. So this is where I came up with the second book, which is called Fretboard Concepts, and has everything else but technique. So it has theory, harmony, scales, chords, arpeggios, and and again, it starts from level 0 up to the pros. And it was a great thing when it came out. I mean, apart from the students that were like expecting it for quite a few years, because I was just giving them handouts of the first chapter of the book.
Little tidbits from
exactly.
it.
So they had the whole thing in one place. The feedback I'm getting from people is, I mean, is amazing, and I'm not just saying it. You know, everybody that has these books, both of them, because with these two books you have an all-around approach to guitar. Everybody's like, yeah, man, I was looking for this. Where was it? You know, and I'm very happy to see that all the amount of time that I put in making these books is a blessing for other people, you know, and myself too.
Yeah, no, and it's great to see people appreciating that hard work and just being able to share your knowledge and experience. That's really cool. That's really cool, Yiannis. One thing that you mentioned before earlier in the Q&A is that when you first started playing guitar, technique and picking, you were saying, oh, I struggled and I had a hard time. And, you know, now watching you, like, you know, for example, your social woodshed challenge, for everybody out there, this week, Yiannis is our featured social woodshed challenge artist, and he put together this really beautiful, really cool B Phrygian lick. And the tabs are available. Tabs and notation are available to download, linked in our bio. For those who want to go check it out, go check out Yiannis's video. We posted it on Sunday. We'll be posting it again on Thursday, so keep your eyes peeled for that. But man, it just a beautiful lick that incorporated all sorts of alternate picking techniques, tapping techniques, sweeping techniques. So at least from a technical standpoint, any tips or little tidbits for players out there who are looking to improve their technique and to branch out their skills to include alternate picking, you know, sweep picking, tapping, all those different styles and skills?
Yeah, you know, it's funny when you have achieved, when you have learned how to do it, it doesn't look like it's such a difficult thing, but yeah. Back then it looked like a mountain, and it was a mountain. I mean, if I count the time and the hours, it took a while. So what I mean by this is consistency and persistence is the key to anything. So the best advice I give to anybody, it doesn't matter if he's a beginner, intermediate player, or even advanced player, keep a diary of anything you do. So, for example, back then when I was focusing in speed, for example, for the alternate picking, and this applies to any kind of technique or any kind of combination of techniques. For example, I used to keep a speed diary. I was starting my week, and I used to, in the beginning of the week, my practice week, I'd be like, okay, which are the exercises I'm going to practice this week? Where I'm going to focus? So I had, let's say, 2 or 3 picking exercises, my sweep picking, my legatos. Okay, day 1, I learned the exercises. How fast did I go? Let's say in 16th notes, 140. Great. The next day, I wouldn't stop if I didn't go above 140.
Yeah.
So did I go 150? Can I go more? No. I stop, I go, I eat, I do anything else. The next day, I will not stop until I pass 150. Can you follow me? So every day I was trying to go further and further. So what does this give you? It gives you an insight of if what you're doing is fruitful or not. And that's why I was keeping the same exercises for a week, because I could monitor for the same exercise. I was doing my best. Is my technique improving? If not, for example, if I was in 1 week, I was practicing 8 hours a day and I saw no improvement, it means that I am wrong.
Right. What can I change in the routine and the regimen too?
Exactly. So that's what
brilliant, man.
You're eliminating the factors that can be, you know, different. For example, if you're practicing a different exercise every day, different exercises focus on different things. Even picking exercises, some work on the outside, the string picking, some working on the inside, the string picking, some work on string skipping. It's too many different things that change. If you don't keep them the same, you can never troubleshoot your hands. Right. This is very important, you know, because I have people saying, hey man, how many exercises should I practice per week? 1.
Yeah.
if you are in university, or if you are in, I don't know, if you don't have a job and you live with your parents, practice 3 if you have time. But if you don't have time, 1. Focus on one thing and do it as great as you can. This is a game changer, man, a game changer. So again, another thing, don't practice 3 hours a day, then stop for 3 days and then practice 5 hours a day. You're killing your hands. You're killing your hands. I mean, if that's the best you can do, try to be careful how you're doing it. But it's better if you can practice 1 hour per day, or if you can practice 1 hour, 5 hours, 1 hour, 1 hour, 3 hours, 1 hour, at least. You have an input every day. It's the same thing as going to the gym. These are
building muscles.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not always about, building muscles. Some people get confused and they think like, I have to follow this process if I want to play like Inve Malmsteen or jump at Ruchi speed or whatever. No, dude. Yeah. The people that go to the gym, they don't just go there if they're interested in bodybuilding. They go there to have a good shape. They can walk without heavy breathing. They have a good physical condition. It's the same thing. Even if you are not interested in playing at 240, at least you can play your jazz lines or rock lines at 160, 140 effortlessly while smiling at the audience without being in the verge of having a stroke. Can you follow me? So, this saves you quite some energy. You are having fun. People that look at you are having fun. You are interacting on stage. Everything is better. Life is better. The birds are singing. Everything is better just by following these simple steps. You know what I mean? And also, I'm not a very big. Again, time is the enemy here, man. If you don't have much time, focus on some things. So if you are a beginner, I'm not about, for example, being like, hey, man, practice everything at once. Don't start. People say, I'm starting with chords. Yes, if the person that comes for the lesson wants to learn songs, yes, starts with chords, start with strumming, power chords. It makes it fun. Everybody's happy. But if the person that comes to you for a lesson is motivated and wants to learn how to play, my approach is start from zero. Technique. Picking is the hardest thing in the world. For me, it was at least. Start with picking, start with skills, start with improvisation. That's it. That's it. And start. Dude, one of the worst things that you can do is forget about theory. Don't work on it. I mean, theory is a game-changing thing. It opens your eyes to new horizons, to understanding music, to it helps you express yourself better, communicate properly with other people. So many, I mean, I can go on with a list of advantages. So this is another a piece of advice. Don't skip theory. Don't skip theory. That's one thing also.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Yiannis. There were a lot of amazing good nuggets there. And actually, for anybody who's curious, this video is going to live in the Seymour Duncan IGTV. So if there was anything that Yiannis mentioned that you may have missed, that you want to write down, anything about his practice regimen recommendations, you can revisit this video on our IGTV. So thank you so much, Yiannis. That's amazing, man.
Bro, thank you very much.
Yeah. One thing that I was curious about too, because we only have about 10, 15 minutes left. How did you get connected with Scott Stapp, man? And how did that all happen? You're touring when touring's going on, you're touring internationally with him. And obviously he's an American musician. You live in Greece. How did you guys get connected? How did that all happen?
It's a very funny story, and people don't believe it, but it takes a moment to go from one scenario to a completely different scenario. So back when I was mentioning about the life-changing, let's say, choice that I made to stop being an accountant and focus only on music and nothing else, I'm like, okay, let's start working and all that stuff. So I was working with bands, I was teaching, working with bands, teaching, touring in Greece. And then I'm like, okay, this goes nowhere. I'm practicing all these hours, but I don't see anybody near me having a same mindset. Like, okay, let's go a step further. You know, let's break outside of the borders. Let's go and play. And I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. So I stopped, and I was focusing only on teaching. I stopped touring locally, and I started focusing more on social media, and started focusing more on promoting myself. Again, stepping out of your comfort zone. That meant less bucks in my pocket, more time focusing on me, believing in myself and what I want to do, you know, pursuing the dream. And, you know, I started thinking like, how you can do this, man, you know, what you can do. And one day I was just listening, you know, to Creed, actually. I was listening to Full Circle, I think it was A Thousand Faces. Anyhow, one of their songs, and I felt inspired, and I'm like, hey, man, I'm going to send a message. I'm going to contact them on Facebook, man. I sent a message on Facebook. It was very well presented and very organized. This is me. This is what I've done so far. Links to my social media, links to my channels, you know. It was very organized and well presented. And I'm like, hey, man, I want to play for you, man. Scott, I'm here. You're a legend. I love your voice. I'm inspired. If you ever need a guitar player, I'm in. I get a response from the dude. Hey, man, this is Scott. No joke. The next day, I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Hey,
that
man,
is crazy, man.
Scott here. I really love your playing. I like what I see. Let's be in touch. I'm going to be out on tour. I was, you know, I'm like,
goosebumps, man.
You are joking. This is not happening, you know. And we started communicating, you know, back and forth. Like you said, I am in Greece, so that was quite a scenario with all the paperwork that needed to be done for me to come to the States. But thank God that worked out pretty well. And dude, it was like, you know, me traveling the world, going to the States. I had already been there in New York, you know, just visiting with my wife many years before that gig. And suddenly I flew in Nashville during the night, and the next day I had my first rehearsal. And I'm like, is this really happening? You know, with what?
I'm out here in Nashville playing with Scott Stapp from Creed.
What's happening now? So it was, man, even I can't even begin to describe the scenario. You know, when we're playing all these songs that I love the band and I love Scott. You know, his vocal melodies, his lyrics, his songs, all that stuff. I was so inspired. I couldn't believe that we were playing. You know, I remember when we were rehearsing. Actually, our first tour was in South Africa. So we were rehearsing in this. So I went from Greece to the States to South Africa to play. So when we were doing all the rehearsals, at some point I'm like, guys, stop! Just, are we really doing this? You know, everybody. You know, this literally happened. I could see everybody vibing. You know, it was the first rehearsals as a band. You know. And I'm like, we had, you know, a great moment. And I knew that, you know, this is a good chemistry between the people. And we had something good going on in the team. And I mean, I think this is the 5th year or the 6th year. I mean, we didn't tour this year due to COVID, but we have been the same group of people as a band. And dude, it's such a great chemistry and everything is working so well. I'm so happy and inspired to be part of this. It was a game-changing thing. And again, everything started by stepping out of the comfort zone and taking a risk and believing in yourself. This is everything boils down to that, man. Everything boils down to that. And people again need to realize this. I myself need to remind that. I remind that to myself. You know, if when I see that things are not moving, I'm like, dude, are you doing your best?
Yeah.
Or are you just relaxing in the current situation? You know, what are you doing? I try
Yeah.
to bring myself back to the mentality of you are no one, you're nothing, you're starting from scratch. What do you have to do to start again? This is
Yep.
the mentality I have when I feel like I'm stuck. You know, pretend you're nothing. You have nothing. You have nothing to do, nothing to eat, nothing. What can you do to make it better? You know,
Yeah.
that's it.
Yeah, and it recalibrates your focus back on work. But man,
Yeah.
I feel like one of the biggest themes and one of the biggest takeaways from our entire chat, Yiannis, is just the
Uh-huh.
importance, like you said, of taking a risk. Because taking a risk, but also hard work. Because man, you obviously you put in countless hours, honing your craft, refining your craft, but then you put yourself out there. You stepped out of your comfort zone. You take a risk. You say, "Hey, I'm going to reach out to Scott and just see what happens." And then look what happens, man.
Yeah.
So the combination of hard work, but then also stepping out of your comfort zone, taking risks, and believing in yourself. Amazing things can happen. I just
Yeah.
love that, man. That whole story is inspiring, and it's just really
Thank you.
beautiful of you to share that with us, man. So thank you,
Thank you,
Yiannis. I
man.
really appreciate it, man.
Thank you. Actually, thank you for giving me the opportunity to be here with you and for inviting me to be part of the Social Woodshed Challenge.
Absolutely.
And seriously, I want to say that it's very important, for an artist to have a company that supports him when he's making choices. Because, I mean, like it or not, I know that I am promoting your things, but you are supporting me. A lot of people think that, hey, man, I'm just expecting things to come my way. Dude, you have to help the company. The company is going to help you back. And I want to say that to people, that Seymour Duncan, since day one, has been with me. I'm saying it. I mean it. There's no affiliation. I don't gain anything. If you buy these guys, I gain nothing. I play this. I'm showing this because I like it and I support it, and I really mean it. I gain not even a penny, and I don't care to gain a penny. I care that this is a lovely product and people are supporting me and countless of other artists in these difficult times. And not everybody does that. And I want to say a big thank you for this. From day one up till now, you have been by my side. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Yiannis. We appreciate it, man, and we're so honored, and it's just a pleasure that you're a member of the Seymour Duncan family, man, and we'll continue to support you. I can't wait for Royal Time Machine to come out. I'm looking forward to that. Once you're back on the road and touring again with Scott, I'm looking forward to that as well.
Thank you, man.
Man, this was just lovely, Yiannis. I really appreciate it, man. And again, for those of you who may have missed it, earlier this week, Yiannis is our featured Social Woodshed artist. He presented an awesome challenge, a really great technical challenge, a great musical challenge, and provided really detailed notation and tabs for you guys. So go check out Yiannis's video for the opportunity to win a 30-minute virtual guitar lesson with Yiannis, and runners-up will win some cool Seymour Duncan merch like Yiannis and I are sporting. So, but Yiannis, before we sign off here, man, where should people go to stay up to date on anything you have going on? Where can people find your lesson packs with JTC or your books? And if you're, I know you also do, like you were saying at the beginning of the video, online lessons and video lessons. Where can people get in contact with you?
These are things, since we're on Instagram, people can head out to my bio. I have a link there with all the other links leading to my website. My books, they're available globally on Amazon. And also my packages from GDC Guitar, links for those that are interested in Skype lessons. Everything is there, nice, compact, with links that go to direct people to sites that fully explain everything, the process for the lessons, or where they can get the stuff that they need. And simple as that, man. Everything is organized and
beautiful. Beautiful. So everybody head over to Yiannis's Instagram. And like I said before, this video will also live in our IGTV. So if there's anything you guys or gals want to revisit, it'll be up there. But Yiannis, thank you so much again, man. I really appreciate you taking the time. I know it's, you know, almost 9 p.m. out in Greece, so I really appreciate it, man. And I'm so glad to see you're doing well, and I'm glad we were able to connect for this, man. So looking forward to reconnecting soon. And in the meantime, Yiannis, be well. And I'm looking forward to everything we have coming up in the new year. You know, we've talked about some cool different project ideas, so everybody keep an eye out for that stuff.
I know, man.
Awesome.
Talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.